Hey everybody, Don Wilson here, Director of Marketing with Province Mortgage Associates. We're so lucky to have a little time with
Rick Pannone.
Rick Pannone, better known as Papa around here. He's our Director of Capital Markets and a wealth of knowledge. Obviously, we got to talk a little bit about interest rates and a little bump that we got in September. What's been the fallout of that?
Yeah, so the Fed did cut mid-September. They reduced the Fed fund rate by 25 basis points. Yes, it was, and it was expected.
Right.
But the misnomer is that Fed funds rates drop and mortgage rates drop. Well, it's not necessarily the case.
It's not a parallel, right?
Not whatsoever.
Yeah.
No. It's a sort of an indication, But as we've seen in the past, and as recent as not this past September, but last September, where the Fed made a rate cut and the market reacted negatively to the rate cut.
Right.
So, that was due to some of the concerns over the data surrounding why the cut had taken place. In this case, the cut took place. The market had already anticipated. Right. So the
labor market and inflation.
Correct.
Right.
So there's concerns around the labor market, and inflation seems to be under control, even in light of the tariffs and the concerns over the impacts of the tariffs. Right. So, so the rate cut took place, and then Powell had his press conference afterwards, and he wasn't as necessarily dovish as the market would have hoped. Mm-hmm. He was a bit hawkish, speaking to future rate cuts and the dependency on data. So there was a little bit of a spike in the 10-year or in treasuries in general, a little bit of a spike in interest rates, in mortgage rates. Since then, it's calmed down and rates have stabilized, and we're currently at the lowest level that we've been in since the beginning of the year.
I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, okay, government shutdown, how does this affect this?
So it's generally a positive for treasuries and a positive for in turn mortgage rates. Okay. Simply because of the uncertainty around the government shutdown, the impacts of the government shutdown on labor market, on spending, right? So consumer spending is impacted, where you've got such a large number of people who are furloughed or who are not receiving pay because of the shutdown, right?
Yeah.
So those are all impacts. Now they're generally short-lived, and they go along with the shutdown itself. So as long as the shutdown is in place, you'll see a little bit of a dip, most likely, in treasuries, and then in turn in rates. But then once the shutdown we're past it, we might see a little bit of an uptick.
Okay. So now you and I have already talked about this. We've seen refis improve a little bit. There's opportunities for homeowners to take advantage of rates being a little lower. Buying is starting to tick up as well. So how do you see the rest of the year going? Good things?
Yeah, it's definitely good things. As I said, we're at the lowest levels for interest rates in general that we've been in a year. We've seen an increase in refi activity. There's because of the spreads that exist between the rates or borrowings that were done 2 years ago as compared to today, right? So there's some benefit to a refinance. Purchase businesses definitely increased as well. And I still see going into the end of this year, beginning of next year, some additional improvement. So currently we're in mid sixes on conventional, ideally lower sixes for Govy, and I think we'll probably see another 8 to a quarter improvement, over the next 6 months, which will definitely be a decent catalyst for additional refi, if not purchase.
All right, so happy holidays to all of us. And as you can see, we're very, very lucky to have Rick and his amazing skill set here at Province Mortgage Associates. For more information, you can go to provincemortgage.com or speak to your senior mortgage advisor here at Province Mortgage. So thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Peace.
Peace.